What's up, my comic comrades? Villains Month continues here on Variant as the DC Universe slips further into darkness. I'm of course referring to DC's Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths event series. We've already covered issues 1 through 3 on the channel, and you can check those out right here to bring yourself up to speed if needed. But we're now up to issues 4 and 5, and let me tell you, things have ramped up quite a bit. It's fair to say the title is living up to its name as the series pushes towards the final 2 issues. So let's dive in and see what's going down. Issue 4 starts off on New Earth, Sector John Stewart, as we're taken back to this mysterious Green Lantern world that Hal Jordan was brought to last issue. The Green Lanterns of this Earth start threatening Hal, so he tells them, "You're just like this whole damn world, a giant construct. Now, do you 3 fakes have stronger willpower than the real deal?" As his eyes light up green. But they just whack him with a hammer construct. The Kyle Rayner construct Green Lantern then tells Hal, while pointing a gun at him, "You're very brave to face the darkness without your ring." At which point a voice says, "You might say Hal's brave and bold," giving us a nice little throwback reference to the Brave and the Bold title, as Barry Allen Flash comes running in, knocking out the Green Lanterns, saving Hal Jordan. Hal then shakes hands with Barry, but he just says, "I thought you were dead." He tells him, "Wally found me." Hal then says, "This world's fake, Barry." He says, "I know," and goes on to say, "But I don't know why Pariah needed these worlds. Once I was free from his illusion, I raced from world to world, studied them. The Justice League from Earth Zero have always been at the nexus of the multiverse. Pariah trapped us in prisons of our own minds, ones we would never want to escape, so that he could harness our energy. He's just using the Justice League to power something explosive, Hal." Barry then says, "I think there's someone who can help us investigate Pariah's plans. I need your help snapping them out of his control. But that means traveling to the world." Hal asks, "You gotta carry me, don't you?" Barry tells him, "Don't I always, in one way or another?" We are then brought to the Hall of Justice, where we see the remaining heroes trying to think of a plan to defeat the Great Darkness, specifically Deathstroke and his army. Wildcat says now that you got the JSA on the front lines with your people, he knows he's on the ropes, and he's probably running scared. "We'll get him." John Kent Superman says, "We can't underestimate him, Wildcat," with Cyborg backing him up. Elsewhere at the hospital, where Beast Boy still lays in a coma, Nightwing sits by his bedside as Alan Scott Green Lantern tells him, "Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight said Beast Boy was struggling to recover. But you feeling sorry for yourself isn't helping him or you. Hell, if we don't do anything, Beast Boy might not even have a world to wake up to." Nightwing says Gar believes he was killed, Alan. That's why he's not waking up. The trauma of Deathstroke's attack was too much. On everyone. One of my best friends thought he was dying. I failed him." Alan then gives Nightwing a pep talk about how he saw his parents perform at Haley Circus before they died and before Grayson was born, and how they were fearless and how they had everyone's eyes on them, just like Dick does now. But he just replies, "You do it. Use your ring to lead them out of the darkness. Create a new Justice League or use the Justice Society to save the multiverse. You pick." Alan just says they don't need a fancy title or team. Justice League, Justice Society, they're all just titles. They have a meaning, sure, but you don't need those to be a hero. Alan then says, "Clark's boy gathered together some great folks. I look out there and I see heroes who have proven themselves time and time again, mixed with new faces who want to help. They want to show that they can carry on the legacy of those who have fallen. But we need the one who did it first," as he puts his hand on Nightwing's shoulder. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom headquarters, Black Adam is convincing Lex Luthor and the rest of the Legion of Doom that they need to work together to take on the Great Darkness. But as he's on the verge of convincing them, the Legion of Doom headquarters is attacked by Deathstroke and his Great Darkness army, saying, "Did you really think I wouldn't foresee this alliance? The darkness knows all." Deathstroke continues to say, "Instead of conspiring to die against me, do the smart thing for once. Join us. Let's burn it all down together." Black Adam then looks at them, telling Lex, "Those chains, the Dark Army had them as well." But at this point, Captain Cold says, "Screw this," and starts attacking Deathstroke and his army, as Pariah watches on elsewhere, saying, "It's just a matter of time now. Yes, what I destroyed, I will recreate," as we see Kyle Rayner fighting Pariah's Dark Army, saying, "Hal is going to kick your ass, Pariah." Pariah then sees Hal Jordan in the Flash and how they might find the Justice League, but he says it doesn't matter because they're already out of time. Meanwhile, we see Flash running while carrying Hal Jordan as they arrive in Gotham. A very different Gotham, with Hal saying, "This is Gotham? Batman's world? Of course he created a world like this. You go retro, he goes misery." Barry then says, "Bruce is a little bit different here. I found him first. I tried to talk to him," as we see Batman perched above them saying, "You're interfering with my investigation." As the Flash says, "Here we go again," with the two charging each other. Elsewhere, Alan Scott Green Lantern takes Nightwing, Wonder Girl, and John Kent to converse with supernatural characters of the DC Universe, such as Detective Chimp, John Constantine, and Swamp Thing. While they're down there, Sapling and Swamp Thing tell them that they're not sure whether they're actually facing a Great Darkness or something that has corrupted it. Meanwhile, back at the Legion of Doom, we see them continuing to try to fight off Deathstroke's army. But it's to no avail. Luthor actually gets infected with the Great Darkness and is now fighting alongside Deathstroke. And as this is happening elsewhere, we see Pariah staring at the multiverse saying, "It's happening. My new worlds created with the Justice League are starting a chain reaction." In the beginning, there was only one, a single black infinitude, so cold and dark for so very long that even the burning light was imperceptible. As we see more Legion of Doom members become infected with the darkness. Pariah continues to say, but the light grew and the infinitude shuddered, and the darkness finally screamed, as much in pain as in relief. relief, for in that instant a new multiverse was born, as we see a massive hand holding the new multiverse. And with that, issue 4 comes to a close, and we're on to issue 5. But first, let me ask you, are you an 80s or early 90s kid? If so, you know exactly who this is. There were a handful of hero vehicles every 80s kid wanted growing up. You know what they are: the Batmobile, the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard, the A-Team souped up battle van, and of course KITT, the AI-empowered Trans Am. That freaking car was it, and we all dreamed of being the next Michael Knight. Well, today's sponsor, FanHome, created a way to make that happen, more or less, with this fully accurate 1/8 scale KITT car replica. This beast is a real deal piece of art, crafted with mind-blowing detail all the way down to the famous red scanner, KITT's voice, working lights, and a remote control watch. What makes this extra unique is that this is not your typical collectible. It's a model that you assemble yourself. With FanHome subscription kit, each month they send you a new model piece as well as a magazine with behind-the-scenes facts about Knight Rider and step-by-step building instructions. But don't take our word for it, check it out for yourself. Just click the link in our description, and while you're on their website, you gotta check out their dope Marvel and Star Wars models too. The detail and quality are next level. I mean, check out that Iron Man, come on. Their models are just insanely cool. We think you guys would really dig these, especially for our fellow collectors and hobbyists. So click our link in the description and grab a KITT model subscription for yourself. Now, jumping into Dark Crisis issue 5, we open up with a map of the DC multiverse, and we see it's been infected by the Great Darkness. Meanwhile, back on Earth Zero, the battle of the Legion of Doom continues, as we see Black Adam is the last man standing yet again. But luckily for him, Supergirl, Mr. Terrific, Aqualad, and Sideways teleport in to save his butt, bringing him back to the Hall of Justice. Once they're back, Mr. Terrific tells Nightwing that he was right, that his T-spheres were able to get a quick scan of Deathstroke and his army. His forces not only attack heroes, but spread the darkness. And as the darkness grows, so does the darkness in the multiverse. We are on the edge of a massive crisis. Nightwing says to Oracle, put out a call. Tell everyone to come to the Hall of Justice. Every hero you could reach. We need to be together. She replies, wouldn't that make Deathstroke direct all his forces towards us? He tells her if Deathstroke wants to fight, let's give it to him. Then on the next page, we see Pariah stare at the multiverse saying, it's beautiful. The infinite Earths return. Soon you will see all the plotting, all the violence. It was worth it. All of it. As we see his dark army waiting to strike. We are then taken back to the Flash and Batman on Earth Batman, where a bloodlusted, corrupted Batman starts attacking Flash, but he just tells Bruce, come on, we've done this dance before. Meanwhile, Hal Jordan says, will you stop showing off? Your little fantasy world is looking like it wants to crash and burn. As we see Black Lightning hit buildings in the background. Flash says its vibrations are speeding up, so much that it's becoming unstable, like a giant bomb. I'd be fascinated if I didn't think all of reality was in danger. Meanwhile, Batman comes swooping in saying, after our last meeting, I prepared. I don't need to hit you, Barry, as he throws a device at him that pulls on the Speed Force, dragging it like a ball and chain, immobilizing the Flash. That's right, friends. Batman with prep time could beat anyone. And Batman would have easily defeated the Flash if Hal Jordan wasn't there to intervene, making constructs of the Bat family to snap Bruce out of his illusion or corruption. Once Bruce snaps out of it, he asks, how? Barry tells him, in the moment you wake up, it could be a doozy. I know, but Bruce, we need your help. With Green Lantern asking, how do we free the rest of the League from these fake realities and get ourselves home? How do we make them see these worlds are a lie? Bruce says, who else do we know who's an expert in the truth? We then see another map of the multiverse with it like 60% infected at this point in time. Then back at the Hall of Justice, we see Nightwing set the heroes on a course of action. Mr. Terrific says, we need one team to investigate the spreading darkness and try to contain it. Alan Scott, Green Lantern, says the JSA can help there. Nightwing then says, thanks Alan, we'll need more heroes for what we have planned. As we see the core Teen Titans, or now Titans, consisting of Nightwing, Cyborg, Wonder Girl, Starfire, Wally West Flash, and Roy Harper are going to be the ones to take on Deathstroke. While a bunch of upcoming heroes from Titans Academy come and saying they want to help. But it gets crazier because after that, a voice says, me too, as we see Beast Boy come in saying, I've got a score to settle. He's also now wearing an eye patch. Nightwing hugs him, and together, our heroes start on their mission to save the multiverse. While they're setting out, John Kent, Raven, and Swamp Thing come in saying, the Great Darkness is not controlling Pariah. Pariah has corrupted it. We weren't able to find out how, but we were able to extract Pariah's original antimatter chamber. It was the machine that Pariah built on his world that triggered the destruction of the original Infinite Earths. Mr. Terrific says, I'll get this to the lab. As John Kent is chatting with Damian Wayne, Wally West and the other Flashes come running in saying, guys, we got incoming. We then see outside of the Hall of Justice that Deathstroke and his army have arrived and are attacking the hall. Nightwing gives the order saying, remember, no matter what happens, Deathstroke is the target. Mr. Terrific thinks if we can take him down, it will stop the spread of the darkness. Black Adam comes in shooting lightning saying, are you out of your mind? Nightwing tells Black Adam, we didn't save you so you could be the messenger of doom. With John Kent saying, join us or get out of our way. Black Adam yells in his face saying, you are a fool, son of Kal-El. The darkness will spread to each and every one of you. you. I have seen the horror in this darkness. This battle is lost, and we will need gods to come even close to survival. What makes you think sidekicks will succeed where so many others have failed? The multiverse will not be saved by children. You are not the Justice League. Nightwing then looks back at his friends, saying, we never were. We're the Titans, as they all charge towards Deathstroke and his army. Meanwhile, we see that Batman's idea was to go free Superman from the world he's trapped in, which they do with Superman saying, Pariah thought he could keep me trapped by giving me a happily ever after with my family. He thought that would be enough, but it's still a world without the Justice League. As we see Superman go multiversal or cosmic, I'm not exactly sure at this point, but he looks awesome nonetheless. With Superman, Batman, Flash, and the rest of the Justice League now free, they go right after Pariah, with Superman standing front and center before him with the League behind him saying, you're done, Pariah. Stop this. Pariah says, no, 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 no. My machine needs your power for the infinite Earths to return. This is far from over. I killed it. Your very existence is tied to these new worlds, created in your image. If these worlds die, you will be erased. Back on Earth Zero, we see the Titans continue to try to fight Deathstroke and his army, but to no avail. We then see Pariah tell Superman and the Justice League, do you feel that? My hopes have finally been answered. The crisis calls me. What happens next is on you, Justice League, as Superman reaches out saying, Pariah, stop. Then on the second to last panel of the issue, we see Nightwing look at the sky cursing, while Black Adam behind him says, I was right. We weren't enough. Today truly is the end. The true darkness is here. Pariah then finally arrives on Earth Zero with his dark army. And with that, the issue ends with the caption saying, next, death to the DC Universe. There you have it, friends. Dark Crisis issues 4 and 5. Things are going full-blown crisis mode, and it's got me very curious to see how it's going to reset the DC Universe going forward. I've been very vocal about being tired of DC Comics constantly resetting their universe every year, so hopefully this does it in a way that's final. We've been enjoying the story, so we're hopeful they stick the landing and set a long-term course. But what do you guys think about the Dark Crisis event so far? Let us know down in the comments. And that's going to bring today's episode to a close, but if you enjoyed today's episode, check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, like, subscribe, and comment. It helps the channel out. But other than that, I'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.